Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AVP Orville 2020. My name is Alicia, as many of you know. In case you didn't know, this is my video that I do exclusively for Orville-related content. And today I thought we'd debunk some rumors that are going on in our Orville community, sadly, that are just tragic, that they're spreading like wildfire, that people are listening to these rumors thinking it's absolutely true, which unfortunately they are not true. But let's set the record straight once and for all that basically there's ways we can find out how these rumors are false. And it's scary to know that people are out there that have nothing better to do with their time but to spread lies. They think it's okay to start a rumor thinking it's going to generate views, generate popularity, generate conversation starters, kind of like the way they would do around the water cooler after, say, a television show aired on a certain day, and then they would talk about it the next day at work. Well, here's the thing. Since we don't have the water coolers like we used to, people are now finding out about these rumors a lot sooner, and they are asking one another, is this true? Is this not true? And it's very unfortunate, basically, that people have nothing better to do but to start a rumor saying something has been canceled, something has been leaked out onto the internet. And that's wrong on so many levels. I mean, as much as I love Orville content, I know that I have to be very careful in what I choose to put out there. As an Orville leader that people look to, I know I cannot just put my name and brand on any particular community or any particular content. If I do that, I make the whole community, from the cast to the crew to anyone else in between, look like crap. And when you see these kind of rumors going on, it's devastating. I mean, I understand that we are in the middle of a crisis, and there has not been really any Orville content. Yes, there's been the Orville comic books, there's been the Orville other things out there, but let's set the record straight once and for all. Orville is not canceled. It's not. I know we're desperate to have people come out there and say, oh, I found out about this, I found out about that. But let's make sure we are checking for reliable sources. I myself was a college reporter when I was in community college for about 2 years, and I know the importance of citing your sources. Now, hold on one second, guys. Okay, I'm back. So basically, these rumors are going out there, and you need to make sure that you check your sources when you post anything online. I mean, I understand that there's some great sites out there, such as Wikipedia and some other sites out there that are just a little bit, let's put the word, off. And we want to make sure that when we are out there that we are releasing content that has reputable sources. A reputable source is something such as a producer from a television show has released information, or an actor who happens to be a key character on a show. When they do an interview, we need to follow those kind of sources, because these people don't just say anything. They are following an NDA that they basically cannot disclose, but only so much information. And I have signed NDAs before, and I know the importance of signing that NDA, because you don't want information to be leaked out too soon. If you leak it out way too soon, then it just escalates and it gets ugly. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't see content out there by these creators, there might be a very good reason why we don't see content from them. Because these NDAs basically say that they're not going to discuss anything because they could risk being fired, they could risk, it could lead to trouble, basically. That's no way I can put it. I mean, I think about the Roger Ailes story that was on The Loudest Voice. And in case you don't know about that story, Roger Ailes basically was a pig of a man. That's the way I can put it. He was a pig, and he was very abusive to his workers that worked under him at Fox News. And he thought, oh, I can act any old way, I can do whatever. Exactly, Crystal. But what I'm trying to say is, with this Roger Ailes story, basically what I'm trying to say is, Roger Ailes had these people who knew the truth about him. Brian Lewis, some of these female accusers, and they actually had to sign NDAs. I was watching the miniseries the other day, the clips, and I was trying to curious about Brian Lewis's character to find out what happened to him. And Brian Lewis was Roger Ailes' go-to guy, you might say. And he knew a lot of dirt on Roger. But the drawback to that is Roger didn't want that leaked out. So guess what? Roger has Brian take an NDA agreement and gave him so much money, so to speak, to hush up. Now, these NDAs that the actors who work for these television shows may not be bribed, so to speak, but they do know that they cannot just leak any kind of information out there unless it's okay by the production staff. Tom Constantino and Seth MacFarlane and the others who work on Orville are good, reliable sources, but they can't just give us any kind of information out there. I mean, as much as I would love to say certain things, I know it's not true. And we need to make sure that we follow the sources through. Check those links. Find out, is there any sources cited in that? Is there proof to what they're saying? I mean, one of the things you do with an NDA agreement, which I learned when I did a focus study group, I'm not going to give into too much information, but the only thing I can say is we could not record what was being discussed in that room with our phones, cameras, whatever. Whatever went into that room stayed in that room. And that's no different with a television series. That they sign these NDAs saying, we will not discuss this, unless it is approved by those ahead of us. So if you're seeing a rumor out there about the Orville being canceled, check your sources. Please check your sources. Because if they're not citing sources, that's where it's wrong. Because that's when it's questionable. Because yes, you might be a big name news source, but you can't just fling your press card out there and let people accept what you're saying as the gospel truth. You've got to make sure you set that record straight and say, this is where I got the information. Yes, we're in the middle of a crisis. Yes, we're in the middle of a shutdown partially in most of the country. But that is no excuse to set out a lie to make people want to listen to what you're saying. Because, yes, we're desperate for content. But here's the thing, are we desperate to listen to a lie? I really hope we're not. Because we need to make sure we are setting the proper example out there. Because as an Orville community member, I know how important it is to make sure we know for a fact that unless we see something that one of the cast members or crew members has released to us, we know that that stays within the community. When they show certain photos, like when they had the GalaxyCon panel, we knew firsthand that that information that they released during that panel was okayed by the production staff to say, hey, we can talk about this. It's okay to talk about this without somebody feeling like, oh, this is fake news, so to speak. We know firsthand that those informations are okayed to say. And we can say that same information and say, hey, I'll give an example. When they were talking about having Jonathan Frakes direct episodes, that, hey, that's an okay information. Everybody knew about it. Or one thing that we weren't sure on was when Bruce Willis appeared as a guest star on The Orville. Nobody really suspected it was coming. That's the thing. Once we knew that it was out there and knew that Bruce Willis was in the show, then we could share that information. I've seen series where they leaked out information and none of it was true. I'll give an example. I was a huge fan of the television series Smallville. And the television show Smallville had this whole website where they literally discussed spoilers. And one of the spoilers was very, very key. And they said, oh, Kevin Sorbo's going to appear on this show. And everybody started the rumor going around saying, oh, Kevin Sorbo's going to appear on Smallville. Kevin Sorbo's going to appear on Smallville. And that rumor went on and on and on. The entire 10 years of that series, there was no Kevin Sorbo. What I'm trying to say is check your sources because they are so strict with security. They are so strict with these non-disclosure agreements or NDAs. They know firsthand that they cannot just release any kind of information out there because they have a huge reputation to uphold. If you cannot uphold that information, then you're in violation of that. And you can face some serious consequences for that. I mean, some of them can face fines, some of them can face jail time. And that's the thing. With this rumor going on that the Orville has been canceled after season 3, or there is not going to be a season 3, that's a bunch of hogwash. I mean, that's a bunch of really BS, honest to God. It is BS in so many levels because as much as we like to start the rumor mill going on, let's talk about Orville, let's talk about Orville. Well, let's make sure we do it properly. Let's don't disclose information that's false. Let's set the record straight once and for all saying, you know what? It's ridiculous. I mean, people are so desperate for news that they will follow the wrong news before the truth. And I know it's hard to find the truth out there. I really do. But we have to very carefully choose what we're reading. People are desperate for news. And the thing is, we don't need to follow just any source out there. Let's check our sources. They said it a lot of times too, Crystal, with other things. They said, because If you break that contract, like I said, NDAs are so key to these crew members, whether you're someone as an intern who's passing out coffee or you're a key production staff, you cannot just release any information out there. I mean, you've got to make sure that that information is something that's going to make the community look good. If you're making your reputation be known as a liar, then nobody's going to take you seriously when you are telling the truth. It's like the story, The Boy Who Cried Wolf. We've all heard the story. It's basically a little boy who's so bored and so stupid, he starts crying wolf. And that's the impression I'm getting with these people with these stories, saying Orville's canceled. This is like the little boy who's crying wolf. They're saying Orville's canceled, Orville's canceled, Orville's canceled. And then let's just throw this out there. If anything were to happen to the Orville series and it's actually true and this person spreads that out saying, oh, this is true, how are they going to be taken seriously? Because they have put the rumor out there previously that's not true. They can't be taken seriously then. And that's the thing. We've got to make sure we are spreading the right kind of messages out there. There's too many fake news sites out there. There's too many people that would want to use their computer skills like Photoshop to create, oh, I've got a behind the scenes photo of blah, 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 blah. Really? Are you going to stoop that low where you're going to fake news out there with people? Don't do that. Orville is not canceled in the least. Stop listening to these liars and check their sources. You can check their sources. I mean, if I can check their source or anything else, why can't us? Why can't the rest of us? I mean, we should not take something as gospel truth, so to speak. We need to make sure that we are listening to the top producers. We need to listen to the crew. We need to listen to cast members. We need to listen to even someone that's been behind the scenes and says, hey, I know the truth because, I mean, like I said, these people are signing NDA agreements that they cannot disclose, but only so much. And we need to respect their decision to not to disclose that information because they are risking so much by giving the content that they are giving us because there are too many trolls out there who have nothing better to do with their time to say, hey, this is canceled. This is photos that are so-called behind the scenes. Wait a minute here. Don't do that. Unless we've gotten permission, don't share it. If you're not sure on the source, like this person asked one of the producers, the top producers, and said, hey, is Orville actually canceled? And the producer came back and says, no, it's not canceled. That's not true. And like I said, if you're not sure on the source, and that's the thing that's so wrong too, Crystal, that they're saying that we're saying we're toxic and everything. I don't think they really know this community. I really don't think they know this community. Because if people really are true, loyal Orville fans, we all know in this community that we are loyal and true to one another. We all support each other. I mean, some of us make jokes saying, oh, you're a Dan fan. I don't like Dan or I don't like Yaphet. But we make jokes about that. And it's all in good fun. We all know it's all in good fun. But we need to make sure that we keep it warm and inviting as much as possible because there are people who are probably finding out about this Orville series during this pandemic and saying, what is Orville? Let's spread the truth out there. Let's let people know that the Orville community is a community that is supportive, that we're welcoming, that we're not toxic. We want people to feel like they're warm and invited into this community, because if we don't, we're going to become divided. I mean, we don't need that toxicity here. Let's take the toxic out. Let's spread the Orville love in the right way. Let's spread the rumors in the right way. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be haters out there that are going to be jealous and have nothing better to do with their time and say, oh, this is true, this is true. How do you know it's true? I mean, I was a little bit scared, I'll be honest, about starting this Orville channel. I really was. But I took a risk and I said, you know what? The Orville community has always been supportive of me, saying that I like this episode or I don't like this episode. And they say, oh, I'm sorry you don't like that episode, but I can understand why you don't like that episode. Or I can understand why you like this character a lot. Or why you love that music from that particular episode. If we can do that professionally and supportively, let's do that. I mean, that's the thing that I always try to do on my channels, whether it's this channel or my other channel. I always try to make people feel welcome. I always try to make people feel like, hey, you're invited into this. You're not excluded. Because when you exclude someone, I hate to say it, but that's when they start spreading rumors or start starting lies. Let's not do that. Let's make sure that we have a professional behavior out there. Let's show people that we are not toxic. We are the reverse of whatever they say, because that way, if they have to say something, it can be nothing but the truth. I mean, I think about the line in A Few Good Men, and Tom Cruise's character is telling Jack Nicholson, saying, I want the truth. And Jack Nicholson screams at him at the top of his lungs, the truth? You can't handle the truth. And these liars who are out there, they can't handle the truth. They can't handle the fact that the Orville community is warm and inviting, that we have a professional behavior. Yes, we go out there and act silly and we do stupid stuff, but it's all in good fun. I mean, I think about the GalaxyCon that was earlier this year, and it was my first time ever going, and it was warm and inviting. We were out there laughing and joking with these actors, and they made us feel like we were part of that, even though we couldn't see the scenes being filmed, or we couldn't be with them when they were in the makeup chairs, or we weren't with them when they were taking photos. I mean, that's the thing. We want to make sure that this community stays warm and inviting. We don't want people to feel like they're excluded, because there are too many communities out there that are not as warm and inviting. They don't make you feel included. Let's make the Orville community something that's professional, unbiased, because some of us may not agree with, say, Bordas and Clyden's lifestyle, or someone may not agree with the decision about turning Topa from one gender to another gender, or someone may not agree with the decision to make Ed involved with certain female characters. We can all joke about that, but the thing is, like saying, oh, I think this person would be better for him, or I think this. Let's make it warm and inviting, please. Let's not start these rumors. I mean, check your sources. Please check your sources. And understand that these people have signed NDAs. There's a reason why they can't share information. They're in the middle of quarantine just like the rest of us. And they're having to do things very limitedly. They're having to edit without a full production staff. They're having to probably put in music without a full orchestra. I can only speculate what they're having to do. And that's what this rumor is a speculation saying, oh, it's been canceled. That's just merely speculation. You don't know. If you're not sure if it's true, check the sources. Please check your sources. And if you're still not sure, go to the people that work for that particular series. I hope I'm making sense, because it's ridiculous that people have nothing better to do to start a rumor saying this is true, this is not true. I hate when people do that. I hate when people start these rumors and these lies, because it's nothing but hate. And this community should not be about hate. This community should be about love and welcoming people into this community, because there's too much out there that's negative. Get rid of that negative. Pure and simple. Get rid of that. If you got nothing better to do with your time and to start a rumor that something is true and it's not, you really seriously need to find a new hobby. Because pure and simple, I will say this again, the Orville series is not canceled. It is not canceled. And we are a warm and a welcoming community, and we are not going to tolerate lies in this community. I know we are bored and we want some new content out there, but please, please, let's not start this kind of crap in here. Let's get rid of that crap. If we're not sure on something, check the sources. And if you can't check the sources, go to someone that can give you the information that's true. Because there's too much negativity out there. And we don't want to start that kind of crap here in this community. Let's get rid of that. We don't need that here. I mean, I hate the fact that there's this rumor going on that, and people are asking me and others in this community, is it true? Is it true? Let me say it straight again. Orville is not community, is not canceled in the least. It is warm and inviting, and it's going to go on as long as it can. It really is. Let's not start these rumors. Let's not spread these rumors. If we're not sure, talk to the sources and find out, where did they get this information? How do they know it's true? How do they know it's not something that somebody just came off the top of their head? Let's make sure that we check our sources. Let's not start sharing articles until we know it's true. Let's not start sharing photos until we know it's okay to do so. I mean, these cast and crew have to sign NDAs, and they can only disclose so much. There's so many times I'm hearing interviews that they're saying, we're working on editing. Well, we don't know what that all means, because we're not in the booth with them as they're editing. We don't know what's going on in the least. They could be making a whole episode about a new alien race. They could be making a whole costume that's so outrageous, like, where did that come from? Let's not start these rumors until we know it's okay to share that story or share that photo or share that video. I mean, this community is not an uninviting community. We always try to make people feel welcome. We always try to make people feel like it's professional. Like I said, we laugh and we joke and stuff, but we don't spread the rumors. That's what I'm trying to say is, if we're not sure about the rumors, check your sources. And if you're still not sure, contact a cast or crew member if you can that's available online. Check with the main ones that are always out there and saying, no, this is true or this is not true. I mean, we had photos leaked earlier this year that were not supposed to be leaked. And many of us did damage control, myself included, saying, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that wasn't supposed to be shared. And we set the record straight. If we can set the record straight with the leaked photos incident that happened earlier this year, let's set the record straight with the rumors going on. Let's go out there and spread Orville love. Let's go out there and tell people we are not liars. We are welcoming. We are unbiased. We are professional. or at least introduce people to the series to say, what do you not understand about this episode? Like, people have always asked me, why do you like Orville so much? And I said, for one thing, it mixes comedy and drama together. I like the stories. I like the music. I like it all in its own way. I really do. And what I'm trying to say is this, pure and simple. Let people know the true Orville when we go out there. I mean, let people see the real Orville. I mean, when I share content, I always try to make sure that it's warm and inviting. And like when I made the video the other day about younger versus older us, I made sure that that was original content of my own. But the pictures that I shared in that video were content that was already released. There's other pictures that I could have included, but I chose not to include those. So what I'm trying to say is this. Let's let people know that it's true. It's true that the Orville community is professional, that the Orville community is warm and inviting, that the Orville community is professional, that we do care about one another. I mean, let people know that this community is something that is worth keeping around. Let people know that the Orville community doesn't tolerate certain things. Like, we don't tolerate liars. We really don't. Pure and simple. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I will not tolerate lies. That's one of the things I just absolutely cannot stand. I just can't. I cannot stand lies in the least. And if it's not sounding true, like I said, if it doesn't sound true, or if it sounds too good to be true, it may not be. And like I said, let's go out there and spread sunshine. Let's go out there and spread Orville love. Let's go out there and show people we're not going to start hate in this community. We're not going to start these rumors. We are not going to spread that around. We are not. Pure and simple. And so let me share this video that I made yesterday, and I'll let you guys watch it with me. Whoops. a couple minutes, Mom. So I'm going to wrap this up, everyone. So basically what I'm trying to say is the Orville series is not canceled. And if you're not sure on the sources, check your sources. I mean, ask people in the community, is this true? Don't be afraid to ask. I mean, I may get a lot of spam on my Twitter asking me, is this true? Is this not true? I'd rather get spam from someone asking me the truth than someone just going out there and taking it as the gospel truth. I mean, that quote, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. I don't know if you got to read it, but let me read it to you. And this is Shakespeare, yes. So let's get that up. Tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, tomorrow's not always promised, no. And we can't always guarantee that our favorite shows or whatever is going to last forever. But let's make the most of the opportunities we're given. Let's make sure that we're setting the record straight. Make sure that we're understanding where these sources are coming from. That people who want to start rumors and nothing but hate, and that's what it is, it's hate. That they've got nothing better to do with their time but to start a lie and say this is true and it's not true. Or they've got nothing better to do to try to get conversation going around the water cooler, so to speak, and to start an article and claim it as gospel truth. Let's not do that. Let's make sure that we are spreading the right kind of things around in our community. And if we're not sure on something, don't be afraid to ask. People like Tom Constantino are so supportive in saying, no, this is not true. Don't be afraid to ask those kind of sources. Let's not spam them, though, with questions, though, of course. But ask people in the community that you know are well-known Oracle leaders. They will tell you straight up the straight scoop because they have the eyes and ears knowing what's going on. They know what's going on in some ways better than us average, not average, but ordinary, you might say. Like, how do I put this? That they have you might say, the ears and eyes of what's going on more than regular folks. I mean, I don't consider myself technically a regular folk, but I do make sure that whatever I share out there is okay to share. It's okay to talk about. So, those of you who are watching this, either on the live or on the replay, please, please, please know that the Orville is not canceled. And if you're not sure on the sources, ask, check. Don't just take it as the gospel truth, and make sure that if you are in this community, we're spreading the right things around within the community to make people feel like this is a warm and welcoming environment. We may not always agree on everything, no, but we do agree on the important things, that we are a community. We are all friends and family. We all enjoy a particular series together. And let's spread that around. Let people know that the Orville community supports each other in ways that needs to be spread around in the right way. Spread the right things around. Let's not spread rumors around. If you're not sure, just ask and check sources. Understand that they've got NDAs to fill and they cannot always give you that information. And even though we're bored, stupid, out of our minds, waiting for the next thing to happen, let's support the Orville community by maybe introducing new people to the community that may not know about this community. So, my Orville family, I'm going to log off. I love you all. Please know that we need to spread the right kind of rumors around and make sure that we are doing the right kind of things in this community, not the negative, because there is too much negativity already out there. And know that you need to check your sources. Don't be afraid to ask people. I mean, my Twitter's always open. I always keep my Twitter open. I check it multiple times a day, almost excessively, but I do check it, and I do check my sources. As a writer, I check my sources. As a reader, I check sources. Please know that this Orville community is not going anywhere. Let's keep spreading that love to one another. Let's keep letting people know that this Orville community is professional, that we are unbiased, that we are welcoming. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, don't spread hate, spread love. Don't spread rumors unless it's true. Check your sources and know that this Orville community needs unity, not disunity. It's called a planetary union for a reason, because it's united. Even though they disagree with each other on certain things, they are still united. Just like this Orville community needs to stay united. Let's stay together, let's stick by each other, and know that this Orville community may be on the pause button, so to speak, but we are still going strong. Also, let me see if I can show you guys my t-shirt real quick that Ellie Orville family got me for her recent name. So it basically said, I identify as a female Mocklin. And I'm very proud of being part of this community and being friends with people such as Ellie, aka Orville family, JP Egotastical. I'm proud to be part of his community. I'm proud to be part of Orville Nation, aka PJ. Crystal, I'm thankful for you being part of this community, and anyone else in this community, whether you're an intern or even a cast or crew member for the Orville thing, that I will support you all in whatever way I can. And know that I will spread Orville love, not Orville lies around. Please do that as well if you are part of this community. And if you are in this community and you're still wanting to learn more about this community, don't be afraid to ask. We're always open to asking and answering questions. That's the thing that we've always learned, that my mom has taught me too, is there's no such thing as a dumb question. The only dumb questions are those that aren't asked. Don't be afraid to ask. So I think I'm going to turn out here, and I just want to thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for listening. This means a lot to me. And please remember that we want to spread Orville love and truth around, not Orville lies and hate. Spread the Orville love. Let people know that the Orville community is a strong community. We're not going anywhere. We're all connected, even if we disagree. We are all still connected to each other. You guys are still my Orville sisters and brothers, and my special, special friends. So, until next time, this is AVP signing out. Jaloja, my friends. Bye!